The e-cigarette giant Juul Labs is the central focus of a reported government investigation into marketing practices that target minors. 3 New Jersey high school students spoke to us about whether they think the company's new measures to keep its products away from teenagers will actually work.
Juul. You've heard of it before, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How common is it in the school?
It's hard to tell exactly because kids can sneak around so much. So maybe like 20% about.
I'd say about the same.
You think about 20% of the kids sounds about right to you?
I would say it's more prevalent among the underclassmen, freshmen, sophomores, and even 8th graders, I would say.
8th graders?
Yes.
That's young.
Lauren Groff, Sebastian Gomez, and Greg Push are rising seniors at New Jersey's Sparta High School. They say they don't personally use e-cigarettes or Juul, but have friends who are addicted.
What are the symptoms of addiction other than just needing it constantly?
There's this thing called sick, which kids get. It kind of seems like a really bad flu, like just out of nowhere. Your face goes pale, you start throwing up and stuff, and you just feel horrible.
To help combat underage use, Sparta has already cracked down on students' not-so-secret vape breaks, with hall monitors and a school-wide system for tracking bathroom visits. Now the school will install sensors in its bathrooms and other locations that can detect e-cigarette vapor.
This is, what, $1,000 per unit?
$1,000 per unit.
School Superintendent Michael Rossi says when triggered, the detectors will send alerts to school security and administrators.
It's a silent alarm.
Correct.
The principal might be 100 yards away, but they would get a note that, hey, there's a problem in this bathroom. Check it out.
Correct.
But the students we spoke with doubt the system will stop their peers from vaping.
I think kids will just learn to do it somewhere else.
You think kids will beat it? It'll just move them to a different room.
If they're knowledgeable of the installation of the system, I think they'll find another place to Juul, which will be helpful for those of us who actually would like to utilize the restroom. But I don't think it will curb the use of Juul.
So you think it'll still be 20%
Yes.
of kids this year?
Yeah, because they'll still be able to do it after school on their own time.
On Thursday, Juul CEO Kevin Burns told us about a new plan to curb youth vaping, an ID verification system that prohibits cashiers from selling to underage shoppers and limits the amount customers can buy.
We think it'll be a contributor. We think it's a contributor. Reduce and improving access and reducing the availability of people to get products.
Do you think that will have an impact on how easy it is for kids to get Juuls?
Whatever rules get in place, I think people will always find a way to get it. Like they can easily just ask an older friend or whoever it might be. It'll just create another obstacle for kids to jump over.
Most of the kids that I know who do it don't actually use Juul anymore. There's ones called disposables, and you see them right next to the Juuls in the convenience store. You don't have to charge them, and once they're done, you just throw them out. And so it's 100% not even just a Juul thing. If Juul, for some reason, goes off the deep end, there's still these other ones that they're using. It's not just Juul anymore.
So what Sebastian is saying there is a really good point. They're using Juul almost as a generic word. They say Juul, but they mean any e-cigarette. And if you go to a convenience store or gas station these days, you will see there are lots and lots of brands. The FDA didn't even start regulating this until 2016. There are very few rules in place. It is long overdue for someone to step in, set standards, take some products off the shelf, maybe let others stay.
It's interesting they said as young as 8th grade. I was surprised to hear that.
1 in 20 middle schoolers use e-cigarettes in each month. We also asked the students, by the way, if they knew any adults who had used an e-cigarette to quit smoking. They couldn't name any, but the teachers could. So there is a divide here. They see the problem among their peer group. Some of the teachers are aware of, yeah, they have a family member who quit traditional cigarettes with an e-cigarette.
You know, they say if they have those detection devices in the bathroom, they'll still find other ways. And the same thing about the ID verification in the stores. But I have to think that if it gets harder and harder to Juul, that they're going to do it less.
Yeah. I mean, yes, it should work.
We were all children once. We all know how to get around stuff.
Yeah.
So not a good thing.
Teenagers are resourceful.
Yes,
and they
very
are
resourceful. Not a good thing.